Welcome back to another 2021 Player Outlook presented by RotoHeat.com. This time we're talking about Deebo Samuel, wide receiver, San Francisco 49ers. And whether this is your first video or your not first video, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you coming over. Hit that like, subscribe, the notification icon, stay up to date with live streams and any player outlooks or any other content we drop here. All right, let's get at it. So right now, by the year end, we expect Deebo to finish somewhere between wide receiver 22 and wide receiver 28 and a back end wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3 range. Of the guys on the team, 3 are buying, 8 are holding, 3 are selling. And we think he will probably finish with a lower ADP next year as opposed to where he's at currently. And we think he's going to be a spot starter this year. Currently, if you look at redraft type ADPs like Fantasy Pros and such, he's sitting around overall 93, kind of like wide receiver 38. And then if you look at our Dynasty ADP on RotoHeat.com, he's kind of around 99 overall and around 37 overall at the position. So you're not really seeing much difference between redraft and Dynasty, kind of the perspective we're looking at when we look at Deebo. He's one of those guys that we'd rather not have on our team, one of the guys says, even though I know the talent. The ups and downs, the injuries, not to mention semi-reckless play is a concern for season-long availability. And that's backed up by the fact that he hasn't played a full 16 games. He was in 15 his first year, only in 7 last year. Unfortunately with San Francisco in 2020, the injury bug just wrecked their season. Coming back this year, everybody appears to be on the mend, on the up and up. And anybody who's been with us for a while knows that I am a huge Deebo fan. I am a guy that will probably die on the Deebo train. But with what the team has around him, what they've done, not only in the draft and free agency, the depth and additions across the board, I think this team is in a better spot to really add value to a guy like Deebo. When you look at Aiyuk, he took a step forward as a rookie last year. Teams can't just focus on Deebo, so they have to look at Aiyuk. Kittle coming back from injury, there's going to be openness across the board for all these different players because who are you going to double? And if you double Kittle, well then Aiyuk, Deebo, your running backs, plenty of other guys are in that equation to get targets then. So I don't think there's much concern here. If you target Deebo as your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, and most people are probably going to target him as a wide receiver type 3, when you're picking him at that point in your draft. So he is a wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside. I mean, that's good value, especially in a redraft format. For you Dynasty guys, I've been targeting him and been able to acquire him here and there. I wouldn't be afraid to target him as, again, wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside. But let me know in the comments below, is he your wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 with upside, or are you doing something different with him? Some of the other guys on the team, think Deebo's kind of the odd man out. One of our guys said, I think Deebo's unfortunately the odd man out in this situation with Kittle, Aiyuk. They should get the premier targets. Mostert, Sermon out of the backfield. Deebo is more gadgety and not fantasy relevant. Sell before the value plummets by next year. So for those of you that maybe aren't on the Deebo train, there's guys on our team here at RotoHeat.com that are with you. So let me know in the comments below, what are you? Are you on the Deebo train with me? Or are you off the train? Have you sold them? What'd you sell them for? We thank you guys always for hanging out with us, and we will talk to you again in the next video.